Am I pronouncing the name right? Anmol?
Yes, it's Anmol.
Okay, great. Well, it's nice to meet you, Anmol. We're going to start the interview, and I have an icebreaker question. Can you go ahead and tell us a little about yourself so that your audience could get to know you better?
Sure. So, I trade the stock market and the currency markets. Been trading for about 10 years now. And then we also have an academy called Live Traders where we teach other people how to trade the stock market and the currency markets. We have like training programs and courses. And then we also provide like advisory services as it relates to, the markets, what we're doing in our account. We're trying to show other people what we're doing and how we trade and also teach them at the same time. So that's my primary thing that I've been involved with.
That's great. And you've been doing that for how long?
I've been doing that for about 10 years now. So started in 2010. So right now I'm on my 10th year.
And is that your only business?
That's my primary, yes. That's my main thing. I trade for myself, my, stock market, day trading, long-term trading. So that's my primary is trading. And then the secondary will be teaching other people how to do it, managing a portfolio, advisory services, and I'm also an author. I have a book which is called Prepping for Success. It's on Barnes & Nobles and Amazon. That's purely like a personal development book.
That's wonderful. I did publish one a few years ago. I do have about 2 other manuscripts. I am also into the movies, so I have a few scripts that I have written. And I have a similar about what's happening right now. It is timing. I wrote this movie way past the amount of pages I'm supposed to do. It's like it could be a book. But it's about flu virus will be used to depopulate the world. And it's a crazy movie. And we have in the coronavirus now starting to kill people left, right, and blue all over the world.
Right, yeah.
So going back to your previous answer, tell us a little bit about how the business, how it works in the day trading and how the academy works and how you generate income.
Sure. So trading the markets is basically you're buying or selling a stock and, speculating on the price of the stock. So we have certain strategies and patterns and tactics that we know work over the long run. All we're doing is just we're following the strategy. So if let's say you buy a Microsoft stock or any other stock at, let's say, $10. Now you sell it, let's say at $20. Now you make $10 per share. If you had 100 shares, that's like almost like $1,000 of profit. So, when we buy something, obviously we want the stock to go higher, and same thing when we sell it, we want it to go lower. So the business of trading is mainly just speculating on the price of the stocks or different currencies, and then we have certain strategies and patterns that we know, okay, this pattern works 60% of the time, right? And so then what we're doing is we're just taking those trades based on those patterns, and then we're growing our account into a bigger one.
That makes sense. And tell us about the Life Academy.
Sure. So it's livetraders.com. So in the livetraders.com, we offer courses, education. So if somebody wants to learn how to trade the stock market or they're new, they don't know anything about it, like, hey, I want to learn, then we show them how they can trade the stock market or the currency markets from home. All they need is an internet, computer, and then we teach them all the strategies and tactics and how to start the business. So whether they're looking to do it as a full-time career or whether they're looking to do it on the side, maybe they already have a job, they already have a business, they want to do something on the side to make a little bit extra, we also show them those strategies as well. So at livetraders.com, that's what we primarily offer is training, educations, and courses. And then we also have our live chat room where me and my partner, we actually trade live in front of everybody, and you're able to see what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Great. These classes, are they full courses online, or you'll jump in and give consulting?
Sure. So these are all online courses. It's one of our programs is called Professional Trading Strategies course. So that's about 20 hours of video lessons. So you get video lessons, which are 20 hours, and then you get a manual that comes with it, which is almost 600 pages. So it's a full course, a university-level course where if you were starting out, it goes from A to Z of trading. So all the way from the basics, all the way to the advanced. So those are all online trainings that you can take anytime, anywhere, and from the comfort of your home.
That's great for people who wants to stay in this industry. I know it's very lucrative, that's for sure.
Right.
Can you elaborate on your social media app, also real estate?
Sure. I also do real estate. So if let's say you're making money with the stock market, and now you can take some of that money and put it in real estate. So have some commercial properties, some residential properties, and those are more investments where you can buy it and you can rent it out. So those are different form of investments that I also have, and that's the primary thing I'm involved with. As far as social media, I'm not involved with anymore. I had a company back in the day which I sold to a different company, so that one we don't have anymore. However, I'm still pretty active on social media, on Instagram and Twitter, and my username on both of those is @Delta90, DELTANINTI. So I'm pretty active on those social media accounts.
That's good. You said you had a social media business account, which was an app, and you sold that. How long did you have it for?
I had it for less than a year. So I built out a tool online where just like, now you have Hootsuite or eBuffer, those tools which allow you to post in all social media channels at one time. So I came up with one of that a few years ago. And then later I received an offer from a different company to buy that. So I sold that company. I had it for less than 1 year.
Wow. Was it tens of millions or hundreds of millions?
No. It's a very small. Because it wasn't a company. It was more of like an app that I had built along with my team. So it was just like an app that we sold that eventually they, put it in their own business. So it's not a big transaction at all. It was, less than $100,000.
That's great. I would like to know if you can tell us how one can manage and run a successful business, because you have so much knowledge in this area.
Sure. I think the number one thing to running a successful business is keeping your customers happy and actually giving them something of value. Right? And doing things the right way. Because if you're doing something like, let me try this out, let's see how it goes, and you're not excited about what you're doing, right? You're never going to succeed. You have to be excited about what you're doing so that you can actually go to a next level. And so I think that's what people need to focus on, is focus on your customers, make them happy, provide them value, right? And actually do your best, like really give it your best, bring some energy into your work. And I think that's what causes success.
I definitely agree. You also touched on productivity and how to manage your business. When you say productivity, is it manpower? Is it revenue?
No, so productivity means using your time effectively, right? So if you are working, right, let's say somebody says, I've been working for 2 years on my business and it's not going well. It's not about how many years. It's about how much time are you putting in a day, right? So you have to really focus and productive. So because let's say somebody's working for 20 minutes, right? If somebody's not productive in those 20 minutes, he probably will not get anything done. If somebody's productive, he can get a lot done in the 20 minutes. So productivity basically means using your time effectively, efficiently, and making the best use of that time.
Understood. You also discussed about how you could techniques in turning coaching career into 1,000 traders and entrepreneurs. How would you do that?
Same thing. Same what we were just talking about earlier, like keeping your clients happy, actually giving them something of value, and then results, right? Because if I coach, let's say, 5 students, and now they have successful results, now I could take those results and get 10 more students, right? So that's the whole idea, is that you grow it where you provide them value, you actually deliver results. That's the number one word. It's you actually deliver the result. So when, let's say in the beginning when I started, let's say I had 10 students that want to learn, I taught them how to trade. Now they're doing well, they're making money, and they're going to refer 10 more people. And then I could say, hey, look at these 10 people that work with me, right? And then you get the next 10 people, and then slowly like that, you grow to 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, is by actually delivering results and providing good value.
Understood. Are there any resources or mentor that helped you on your journey?
I think resources are all around, right? The biggest resource now is YouTube. You go on YouTube, you can learn anything you want. So the biggest resources where people can learn anything they want is YouTube. They can buy books on the topics. So for me, my mentorship was through books, through videos, through purchasing other people's courses too, right? Learning from them. So nowadays everything is available to us as human beings, so there's no excuses, right? You can actually learn whatever you want to do. You want to get better at speaking, you can learn about that. You want to get better at writing a book, you can learn about that. You want to launch a nice podcast, you can learn about that. So there's resources available for everything. The biggest resource is the internet. I think that's what people should make the most advantage of. You can find answer to anything.
That's true. Yeah, but there is also good and bad on the internet. You have to be able to decipher from the noise. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, there's that's why productivity comes in, right? You have to be focused, because if you're on the internet, you could spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours and not do anything, right? Not accomplish anything. You haven't completed a work, completed a task. So that's where productivity comes in, where you use your time effectively. You're on the internet, you're there for a specific purpose, right? You learn that, and then now you go and you execute.
That's great. Well, there is a very big market out there, day trading, but it is a niche market where not many people do it. So by going on your academic class, which is livetrader.com, people will be able to enroll into your classes and be a trader. But how long will it take someone in order to be able to accomplish that goal and trade successfully?
Right. So it takes people, different times. Some people get it really fast. Some people take a long time. So it depends on how much time a person is putting in, how much effort they're putting in, and how much they're learning. Because if you don't know how to trade and you just try to open an account and try to trade, it's going to take you a lot longer. Maybe never, right? Maybe you never make it. Whereas somebody who learns, who reads, who gets educated, and then you try and trade, then you could get it much faster. So some people get it instantly, right, as soon as they start. Some people takes them 3 months. Some people take them 6 months. Some people take them a year. But usually an average for most people is about 9 to 12 months to really get it. But it could also be quicker for some people who really pay too much attention.
Very clear. What is your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
I think, my biggest failure was mostly in my first year of my trading, where I was learning how to trade myself in my first year, and I just wasn't following the strategies. I wasn't being disciplined, right? I wasn't controlling my risk. I think that was the biggest thing. But when I learned how to control risk, be disciplined, follow my trading plan, I think that's when success came. So the biggest failure in the beginning, my first year, was just not, doing what I should have been doing.
Understood. Wow, that's a good story. As you move on, you said you're also an author. Am I correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us more about this?
Sure. So I have a book called Prepping for Success, 10 Keys for Making It in Life. So that book's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And in that book, I just talk about 10 keys to success. So 10 things that made the most impact in my life, that, increased my success in my life. And those 10 keys is what I share in the book, the ones that can make the most impact and help people succeed in whatever they're doing. So the book is nothing about trading or business or anything like that. It's more about a personal development book. And personally, I wrote it for myself. I hope somebody gave me this book 10 years ago. It would have made life so much easier. So that's kind of what I wrote it for, is 10 things that people can start doing right now to see the best and most impact in their life.
That sounds good. I think that book would be a good read. How long is that book anyway? How many pages?
The book's pretty short. I mean, if you start reading it, if you read it in one sitting, you can probably finish it in less than 2 hours. So it's a very short book because it's straight to the point. I didn't want to write a book where there's a lot of stories, but you didn't learn anything. So this book is straight to the point. Here's the 10 things you start to do right now. And then that's what I wrote it for. So it's about 100 pages or so.
All right. As we go forward, I find that your career in trading, and then you wrote that book. What's next in the horizon?
What's next? I mean, I'm thinking about, potentially opening my own hedge fund next year. So that's something that I've been debating and thinking about more and more. So that's on the plan at the moment for the future.
That's a big deal. Will you require a patent or trademark to open that?
Probably not.
An investment too? Will you need investment?
Yes, investment obviously would be needed because that's what the hedge funds are for, is for managing money for other people. But at this point, I'm not looking for any investment. We'll see down the road if I do start the fund, then we'll think about it at that time. But that's the nature of hedge funds.
Yeah, understood. Tell us about real estate, how big it is, how many properties, and how long you've been doing it.
So real estate, my family's been in real estate for a very long time. So I've been dabbling into that as well for the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years. I've been doing that. So I have a couple commercial properties that we rent out for commercial properties would be like businesses, stores, office space, and residential would mean like housing and apartments and stuff like that. So we do some of those too. So a mix of commercial and residential, but most of it is in the commercial side of things.
And is it going fine for you? Is everything going on okay in the real estate?
Yeah, I think residential is still, doing okay. No problem there. Commercial, on and off, right? I have it in different countries, but yeah, the one in the U.S., obviously right now it's a little bit slow.
Yeah.
Because if you want to try and sell it, nobody's really buying at the moment. So that's a little different thing right now. But again, with any investment, you have to think long term. If you think about 1 to 2 years, then it's not a good investment, right? But if you think about 5, 10 years, in one maybe less than 1 year, the virus thing will go away. 1 or 2 years, people will get back to normal. So things will get back good again. So with real estate, you have to always take a longer approach.
Understood. I checked my zip code in Brooklyn, and I find out because every week there is always at least 10 properties being sold in my zip code. So last week I went and see if the market hold up to its selling of properties. Not a single property was sold last week. The market is telling us something.
Yeah, because people can't really go out of the house to view the property. Brokers have to show the property, so it's a lot of that. And then also people don't really want to part cash too much right now, right? Because things are uncertain. The economy might go bad, so people want to save their cash. So I think that's why we have seen less action, and I think it's going to get worse for the real estate market in the next 1 or 2 years.
Can you give us more details on why you think it's going to get worse?
It's a simple thing, right? Let's say a lot of people are not able to pay rent. So if they're not able to pay rent, the person who owns the property, they have to pay their mortgage. So if the person can't pay rent, the people who own the property, they can't pay the mortgage, right? So there's going to be a lot of foreclosures happening in the next 1 or 2 years. Because until people are able to get back to work, you saw yesterday 30 million Americans filed for unemployment, 30 million. So if those 30 million are not able to pay their rent, right, the landlord's not going to be able to pay their mortgage, the bank's going to have foreclosures, and so it's going to, it's going to get bad.
I understood. So the pushback on mortgage payments for 6 months is not enough in other sense. You think that they should extend that for homeowners or real estate investors for at least a year more pushback payments? Understood. By the way, you will be getting a link to the podcast when we shoot it out. So
sure, definitely.
Anything else you'd like to talk about in regards to your day trading, whereas the audience can get in touch with you and how much is going to cost them?
Sure. So, I think the best time to start trading is actually right now because, as you can see, a lot of businesses are closing, people are losing their jobs, and people are looking for something to do from home. So trading is the best business you can do from home because if you have internet, if you have computer, you do this from your home. You don't need a boss or anything like that or a company. So that's why I think the best time to start trading is right now. And as far as starting out, people don't need a lot. They can start with whatever they have, but in the beginning, their goal is to learn. So the best way is to go to the.
What's the number, Anmol? Give us a number.
So if you're looking to do swing trading where you're holding stocks for a few days to a few weeks or a month or so, then anything is fine, right? $5,000, $3,000, you can start with that. Now, if you're talking about day trading, that where you want to be in and out every day, right? For that, you will need at least $25,000 because that's just SEC rule. So SEC, FINRA, government rule is you need $25,000 if you want to day trade and in and out of stock in the same day. But if you don't have that, that's fine, right? You can start with $1,000, but you do swing trading where you don't get in and out the same day. You buy a stock, maybe you sell it tomorrow, maybe you sell it next week. So for that, you can start with anything. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. It's all good.
Well, that's well said. I think the audience would like to know more about that. This information you have given them, it is very clear now. There is a possibility in day trading, and I thank you for that.
No, sure, definitely.
Do you think for a reason you were born for a reason?
I don't think so. I think I don't think anybody is born for it. You have to work at it, right? You have to make it. So you have to learn the skill. You have to practice. So I think anybody can learn. Anybody can practice it. Nobody I think is born for trading. It's something that you have to learn. Just like a sport, you have to get good at it.
Well, I can say for a fact that it's true. Many of the things we do in life could be learned, and That's why we have exercise and courses to get ourselves where we need to go. Would you say that if it is in the best interest to go to this class instead before trading, or they can just go ahead and invest the money course?
I think people have to learn before they start, because if you don't know what you're doing, you're only going to lose your money, right? So because this is a business, this is a profession. So any business or any profession you go to, you should always learn first. Otherwise, you're just gambling. And I personally don't gamble. Our team doesn't gamble. We do strategies and tactics. So you have to learn those strategies. So absolutely, I think anybody starting should first learn as much as they can. And then when you learned it, then you can start trading.
Understood. I think it makes sense. This way you can't go wrong. At least you have an idea of what's going on. And if in case anything goes wrong or things goes good, you're not really surprised.
Right. Yep.
You're right about that. Well, you have been very successful in this for the last 10 years. Tell us, what would you tell someone that wants to be in trading? What advice would you give them? Personal advice.
I think personal advice is just what I was saying earlier, is that when you're starting out, take it slow, right? Be patient, take it slow. Right? Don't try and make a lot of money like in the beginning. Your goal is not to make money. Your goal is to learn. So the best advice I can give is, start small with a small account, only risking small amounts of money, right? Maybe even practicing on a demo account. So nowadays you also have demo account where everything is real. You can trade everything real, just the money's not real, right? So that way you can practice and learn, right, with fake money. And then when you get to learn, when you get good at it, then you can start risking your real money. So the best advice is to learn.
Great advice, Anmol. I couldn't say it any better. Well, one way they can meet, they can get your book.
So the book is called Prepping for Success, and the website will be preppingforsuccess.com/book. Or you can also search it on Amazon or Barnes & Nobles, and the book is also available on there.
How else can they get in touch with you?
They can contact me via email, which is anmol@livetraders.com. But the best way is to go to the website, livetraders.com. And then you can also find me on Instagram or Twitter. My username is @Delta90, DELTA9ETY. And then we can do that from that way. That'll be the best thing to get in touch.
Great. I think I learned quite a lot, and it will be very interesting topic for other people to hear for themselves. So look forward to talking to you again. Anmol, it was a nice time talking to you.
Sure. Nice talking to you as well. Thank you.
Okay. Good luck.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening to IBornStudio podcast show with your host, Alex. If you like our show, give us a review. We want to thank our sponsor, Free Conference Call Service, who made it possible for these interviews. You can contact us via IBornStudio.org or support us on anchor.fm/IBornStudio. Thank you for all your comments.